and the sky is gray. I went for a walk on a winter's day. I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA. California dreaming on such a winter's day. Went to a church yesterday, I stopped along the way. Well, I'll turn right back around. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind. Baby, I got your number. Oh, and I know that you got mine. You know that I called you. I called too many times. You can call me, baby. You can call me anytime. You got to call me. Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind. I don't want no one to squeeze me. They might take away my life. I don't want no one to squeeze me. They might take away my life. I just want someone to hold me. Oh, and rock me through the night. The youthful heart can love you, yes, and give you what you need. I said this youthful heart
Good morning, everybody.
need.
Good morning, good morning.
But I'm too old to go chasing you around.
What a beautiful Friday morning. I do not get any natural light in my streaming room, so it just feels like it's nighttime again. Oh,
Give me one reason to
classic.
steer.
Okay.
Oh, I'll turn right back around. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind.
Okay. What the heck?
Give me one reason. Oh, give me just one reason why.
Nope.
Baby, just give me one reason. Oh, give me just one reason why I should stay. Said I told
Hello.
you I love you, and there ain't no more to say.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's cool. All right. Shh. Hold, please.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting
What
when
the fuck?
evening comes. Watching
Anon, thank you for the 5.
and I watch 'em roll away again. Yeah, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll.
Oh, I'm such a professional. I'm such a professional.
On the dock of
Yeah.
the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay.
Okay. Chill.
Had nothing to live for. It looked like
It's not even.
nothing's gonna
Why is my
come
camera not
my
even
way.
popping up here?
So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away.
Okay.
On the dock of
Cool.
the bay,
too tired for this? Why are you pulling up?
Look like
I know this is the one.
everything.
I know that this is my camera. But why are you not popping up?
Alright.
Okay. Fucker.
Sitting here resting my bones. And this
Piece of
loneliness
shit!
won't leave me alone. Listen, 2,000 miles I roam just to make this dock my home. Now I'm just gonna sit at the dock of a bay, watching the tide roll away. I'm sitting on the dock of a bay, wasting time.
What the? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. There we go. Wow. Great start. Great start. Good morning. Okay. Alrighty. Partying Panda, thank you for the resub. DeReal Woke Bay, thank you for the resub. Beth, thank you for the resub. Uncle Trudeau, Just Will Art, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay. I know you probably have important things to say, but there's a new pit trailer in 7 minutes. No, I don't have anything important to say. Obviously, we'll be watching the pit trailer. Be honest, how much sleep did you get? 4.5 hours? Be honest. Be honest. Not bad. Yeah, I was talking to, Wake left this morning. I was talking to him last night, and then this morning, I got up just to do a little bit of prep for my interview. And what else did I do? I don't know. Whatever. That's about half the sleep you need. It's fine. It's fine. Usually a lurker, but as someone from Wisconsin, I'm so excited for this interview. Yeah, so if you weren't here last night during stream, I explained that I am going to be interviewing Francesca Hong, who is a member of the Wisconsin legislature. She's a state representative. She was elected in 2022. She is her area is Madison, which is cool because I had a couple of my siblings go to the University of Wisconsin, so I spent quite a bit of time in Madison actually. And she is a Democratic socialist who is running for governor. And she is running for governor because Tony Evers decided not to run for a third term, which is actually how it should be. Tony Evers, who would have won a third term, but went, you know what? I'm 71. I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna retire and spend time with my family, and I'm going to make this opening for somebody younger to come in, which it's crazy how rare it is, how rare it is that you have a politician who's pretty popular, who's in a good position to win another term, who's like, you know what? I don't need to. So what happened was it opened up a big opportunity for someone new to come in. And right now it's a really crowded and ever growing field of candidates running for governor. Francesca is one of them. And so I was connected with her because of Pete the Noob, who is, he's in here. He's in Arch Villains. Pete's great. And so Pete reached out and was like, just made the connection. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'd love to talk to Fran. So anyway, doing that in 30 minutes. So hopefully my brain wakes up by then. Shy, thank you so much for the raid, by the way. Shy. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Shy. Good morning. Good morning, Shierinos, Thembarinos. Inquab, thank you for the tier 1. Trivial Solution, thank you for the 3 months. Lionheart, thank you for the 24 months. Okay, have you seen Nikki and Vance's new bromance? I have. I also saw another tweet of Nicki Minaj's this morning in regards to Gavin Newsom talking about like protecting trans kids, which is great, and I'm glad that that's the energy right now. It's so funny to me because as the pendulum is starting to swing back, we're very much still in broke era, but as we're seeing the kind of tendrils of woke 2.0 returning, as people are burning out on just the, I don't know, fascist vibes everywhere. Nicki Minaj has chosen, not that this is necessarily new for her, but she's picking this moment to like fully show that she's MAGA, that she's right wing. I'm just like, interesting timing. What's gonna happen, Nikki, when your fans can no longer deny the fact that you're on your MAGA grift? You're on your right wing arc. Here, I'll show you the tweet I was talking about. Nicki Minaj responds to Gavin Newsom saying he wants to see trans kids. What he's talking about, by the way, is trans children being protected, trans children being supported. Because guess what? Trans children grow up and become trans adults. So trans adults do not exist in a separate world from trans children. These are not children who are having trans ideology forced upon them. What's changed is there was more of an acceptance and understanding around what it means to be trans, which is why we, versus maybe previous eras where you have trans people remaining in the closet, where they don't come out as trans until they are older. The whole idea with a more progressive society is that people are allowed to be their true selves, who they are. So Gavin Newsom talking about wanting to see trans kids is making sure that children are in an environment that is safe for them, that is encouraging of their identity, of who they are, of allowing them to be visible and not forcing them into hiding, into pretending like an existence, which is not their true existence, is who they are. So anyway, anywho, Nicki Minaj responds to Gavin Newsom and goes, imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Ha ha. Not even a trans adult would run on that. Shut your fucking mouth. I am so sick and tired. I am so sick and tired of her. Shut your fucking mouth, Nikki. Lionheart, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. I love the idea that healthy, safe, happy kids couldn't possibly be trans kids, because that is Nicki Minaj being a right-wing Barbie over here. That is Nicki Minaj being like, oh, I'm transphobic. Okay, Nikki. You do know, as I said, that pendulum will swing back. It is in the beginning stages. Gav out. Okay. Send in the next guy. I'm bored. Who the fuck does she think she is? I'm sorry, but what is up? What is up with artists like this, like Nicki Minaj, who have always had queer fans who just, I don't know, she's responding to the times. She thinks like, she thinks that this is the move to position herself on Team MAGA, to be Donald Trump's ambassador for religious freedom. That's how far Nikki has fallen. Nikki has fallen this far. Nikki has fallen this far that now she's an ambassador for religious freedom and being transphobic. Because I guess she has nothing else. Like, what is this, a race to the bottom? She's always been a piece of shit. She's always been a piece of shit. It's definitely gotten worse. I think as Nikki has gotten older, as she has gotten nastier because of her insecurities, looking around at younger rappers who have ascended in the space. I think Nikki having her husband and her brother and people calling her out for surrounding herself with abusers. She has too much time on her hands, I fear. I fear that Nikki is on that path of formerly dominant mainstream popular artist who cannot handle having lost her power, lost her spot. And now she's out here saying Gav out around trans kids. Girl, this is a bad look for you. Because we all know when artists start doing the MAGA grift, it's usually because their careers are going down. There's enough examples at this point that it's a bad sign of your career when you're jumping on the grift train. And then how embarrassing JD Vance getting involved in a rap beef between Nicki and Cardi. Nicki greater than Cardi because Nicki said Vance greater than Rance. Oh, girl, it is embarrassing. Are you still intentionally co-streaming the Game Awards? Absolutely not. Wait a second.
How the hell
do I get out of this? Wait, are you sure I am? Does it show that for everyone else? Wait a second. Get me out. No. Okay. I don't know why. Maybe Twitch lags for some people. Okay. Maybe you just got to refresh, chatter, and anybody else who is seeing me still still co-streaming with Game Awards from last night. What if I'm just always co-streaming with Game Awards for the rest of my life? Okay. All right. Dismal Thinker, thank you for the prime. Riddle Yoy, thank you for the prime. Biggie, thank you. All right. Fran Hong is announcing Half-Life 3. Very exciting, y'all. I have Fran Hong on to announce Half-Life 3. It's very exciting. We are going to be talking about the biggest games coming out in 2026. Oh, weird. Sorry for the false alarm. All good. Knowing me, that's absolutely something that I could definitely have been doing. Is the interview at 10? Yes, the interview is at 10. So we've got like 20 minutes. I want to jump into my Zoom in like 15 just to make sure that that I have everything set up, considering the fact that I couldn't even turn my camera on for 5 whole minutes this morning. So don't want to, professional streamer over here, not wanting to embarrass myself. Finally, EU time stream. Will Toax, thank you for the 7 months. I know, y'all. I haven't done a morning stream in a minute, aside from being in Asia where it would overlap into the morning. But as far as at my desktop getting up during a morning stream, it's been a minute. 2026, gonna try to get better at doing at least one morning stream each week to catch my East Coast EU viewers, community members who just can't make the late night Pacific time schedule. Okay, exciting news. How many years has that been a goal? 3 and running. 3 and running. Been missing watching you since I moved to NYC. A question I'd like you to ask. My birth certificate's in Wisconsin. Will you make it legal to change the gender on your Wisconsin birth certificate without surgery? Wisconsin on birth certificate. Wisconsin requires either an F or M gender marker on birth certificates. There's no gender neutral or X option. It's illegal now, asking if she would change it. Yeah, I will. I'll try to. I'll try to kind of bring that into like a general discussion on her queer and trans constituents, and just kind of, just with everything happening from the Trump administration to the state level, as far as restricting rights and making life harder for queer and trans people. I'll try to work that. I don't know how much time I have for this interview. It kind of allotted like 30 minutes right now. CarolineKwan from Queer Media, I do have a question for you. So I will tell you my kind of already thinking on that is right now Wisconsin Republicans control both chambers of the legislature. So I think I think I want to talk to her about the challenges in being a member of the Socialist Caucus and not just having to deal with more centrist Dems in the legislature, but also the fact that Republicans still do control both chambers, and how she envisions her as governor being able to push for these policies while dealing with a Republican controlled legislature. Okay, anyway, here's the Pitt season 2 opening scene. Yay!
You are sultry, dirty, soft and hard. You are close to me and you're so far. And I'm thinking of the time
We're so back. I didn't know I need this, but I needed this. I needed Dr. Robbie on a motorcycle. Kind of crazy. He has no helmet on though, as a doctor. But I will say, doctors, incredibly reckless people. My dad, who's a retired doctor, was in a horrific motorcycle accident. No helmet. Doctors make the worst patients. But also, I think Dr. Robbie's in a bad place. I think he's mentally in a bad place and is maybe a little reckless because of that as well. Last we left off, he's in a dark place.
Parked outside. Morning, Doc.
Always smoking too? Oh yeah, my dad smoked.
Excuse me, guys.
Hogan, thank you for the gifted. Oh my God, I forgot that the new season is on July 4th. You know, there are going to be hella fireworks, accidents. You're going to have some like white teens being rushed into the hospital because they blew themselves up. Because they lit off an illegal amount of fireworks, just missing limbs. It's going to be chaos. The Pit is like 24 in the sense that every episode is an hour on the shift. So it's happening in like real time. Yeah. But 24 was absurd because 24 in 24 hours, Jack Bauer would like discover a plot to kill the president and then stop the plot to kill the president and then kill a bunch of bad guy terrorists and then, you know, be on like jets and trains. And it was quite literally impossible for what Jack Bauer accomplished in an episode of 24 for even him to do like one of those things in an entire season in 24 hours. My favorite part of 24 was when Jack Bauer went to sleep and there were 8 episodes about his dream. Yeah, just eight episodes of him sleeping. My dad's a dentist, and decades ago, he was riding his motorcycle with my mom in the back, and for some reason, a car going the opposite way thought it was a two lane. Then never rode his motorcycle again. Yeah, motorcycles are dangerous because of people in cars. So always, it's not a matter of if, it's when. You have to learn, 1, driving defensively, and 2, how to get hit. If you get hit, what to do when you've when you've gotten hit. Have you ridden a motorcycle before? I got my motorcycle license. I thought I was gonna ride a bike when I moved to LA because I was just like, well, it'll be cheaper than a car. Plus, it's so sick. And then I decided to get my license. I also thought for kind of acting purposes, it would be good to have. It's like, oh, I have that on my resume. I'm a licensed biker. I have my motorcycle license. That should be a leg up. And then my uncle scared the shit out of me, so I never actually got a bike and rode them. So I have ridden bikes before, and when you're getting your license, you have to. But no, I did not. I did not see it through after I got the license. Okay, we also have a Euphoria teaser. I'm gonna be so for real. I do not give a shit about this show anymore.
A few years after high school, I don't know if life was exactly what I wished.
You walk up into my house, and you don't even introduce yourself.
A few years after high school,
Neither does the cast.
I don't know if life was exactly what I wished.
You walk up into my house, and you don't even introduce yourself.
I'm sorry. Did I just have deja vu?
You walk up into my house, and you don't even introduce yourself.
What?
You walk up into my house, and you don't even introduce yourself.
Wait, what is happening? I feel like my brain is splintering. I feel like I just saw that twice and didn't it loop?
A few years after high school, I don't know if life was exactly what I wished.
You walk up into my house.
I think it looped. Okay. I cannot watch this anymore. I think what happened was it looped, but I thought it was all part of the same teaser. I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? Oh my God. Okay. I just watched that 4 times too many. I don't know. I guess that's it. Okay. Great. This looks, I gotta be so for real. I don't think it's gonna be very good. What is the show even about anymore? I don't know. I gotta say too, after Angus Cloud died, I thought he was one of the best parts of Euphoria. It's very sad that he passed away so young. Sam Levinson made half the women involved in sex work. Yeah, that's classic Sam Levinson. He's like, oh, okay, let's skip forward into the future. And all you gals are sex workers now. So I can just, so I can make you have sex on my set and say that it's part of the story. It's a very important part of the story. Crucial to continue the story of Euphoria. Sam and Ryan Murphy need to share a cell. Yeah, I think those two need to be put in jail and then they have to earn their way out. They have to prove that they can be let out. He also kicked off Barbie for standing up to him. Yeah, he sucks. He sucks. All right. What time is it? It is 9:51. I wonder if I have time to briefly look at.
And last year,
I wanted to look at this really briefly before we jump on the call. Okay, so this is 2024 Eurovision winner Nemo, and he is protesting Israel's participation in Eurovision because Eurovision, the EBU, refuses to cut Israel to bar them from participating, even though we are now up to 5 countries that have dropped out, as Iceland just recently joined the other 4. And I predict more countries will drop out either in solidarity or because the financial costs that now they have to bear that are going to be greater due to countries like Spain dropping out. It's just going to be too much. And this could, it's already, Eurovision is already suffering because of the EBU's decision to not bar Israel. The kind, just overall the vibes around the competition, the sentiment, the growing protests, and now we have 2024 winner Nemo, who has said, "Fuck this! I'm sending this trophy back." And it's only when Eurovision fulfills the values that it claims to represent, then I will take the trophy back.
Hey, I'm Nemo, and last year I won Eurovision, and with it, this trophy.
I'm going to grab some water
Even though
before this.
I'm immensely grateful for the community around this contest and everything this experience has taught me, both as a person and as an artist. Today I no longer feel like this trophy belongs on my shelf. Eurovision says it stands for unity, for inclusion, and dignity for all people. And these are the values that made this contest so meaningful for me. But Israel's continued participation during what the UN's Independent International Commission of Inquiry has concluded to be a genocide shows there's a clear conflict between those ideals and the decisions the EBU is making. This is not about individuals or artists. It's about the fact that the contest was repeatedly used to soften the image of a state accused of severe wrongdoing, all while the EBU insists that this contest is non-political. When entire countries withdraw, it should be very clear that something is deeply wrong.
Yeah.
And that's why I decided that I'm sending this trophy back to the EBU headquarters in Geneva with gratitude and with a clear message. Live what you claim. If the values we celebrate on stage aren't lived off stage, then even the most beautiful songs become meaningless. I'm waiting for the moment those words and actions align. Until then, this trophy is yours.
Yeah. Also, this is Nemo was Nemo winning Eurovision was a big deal too, because Nemo was the first non-binary performer to win the trophy, and they sang a song called "The Code," which was about their path towards realizing that they are non-binary. So it was really important representation, and having someone like Nemo who was breaking boundaries, who was showing that Eurovision is also a competition for the they-thems, to return this trophy with such a resolute, with such a just so grounded in what their principles are. They sang it on a spinning wheel too, which was cool. And I think demonstrating that this is a moment for other people and for other countries to stand up and to follow suit in really actually living out their principles. And this Nemo didn't have to return this trophy. Nobody was calling on Nemo to return this trophy, but because of the EBU's stubbornness and because of their refusal to even hold a vote on Israel's participation, this is now the action that the 2024 Eurovision winner Nemo has decided to take in order to send a message. Nemo is one of a few artists who tried to protest but were unsuccessful in 2023. Y'all, you're to the other participants out there, you're being put to shame by Nemo. Thems are they're owning you in the field of being principled, being moral, being morally consistent. Interviewing my future Wisconsin governor today. Yes, I am. Okay, let me get my Zoom set up because I don't want to fuck this up. So let me jump in here, start that, because I think, what happens if I use my OBS virtual camera? Does that work? Let me see. I don't know. This is always kind of funky. Because what if I turn that on? Ooh, does that work? Oh, let's see. Okay. I don't know why this never. I don't know why my virtual camera never wants to work. So I might just do this. Yeah, I always kind of get the purple cam too. I'm actually gonna turn. What if I do that? And then I go. Oop. Failed to start the video camera. Please select another video camera in settings. Okay. Oh, fuck. I haven't done this in so long. Why can I never remember? Okay, Fran Hong is in the waiting room. Oh, this is so embarrassing. I hope she's not watching my stream. Oh, fuck. Okay, let me try this. Come on. Why have I still not figured this out after all this time? My God, you guys. I'm panicking. What if I do that? Okay. And then cam link. Why are you select another video camera in settings? So embarrassing. No, you didn't see me. You did not see me. That was still fuck. Oh, I hate myself. See, why is my camera here? Okay, I'm going to turn that off. And then why failed to start the video camera? Please select another video camera in settings. What if I go start virtual camera? What is wrong with me? You got this, Queen? Oh my God. Oh my God. Please. Not seeing any video. No, because it's not. Oh my God. Ah! Turn it off and turn it on. I'm trying. Okay, chill. Failed to start the video camera? Why is this still not working? Okay, I'm just gonna turn this. I'm gonna turn this off on every possible. Okay. So if I go back here, why is it still? I feel like, okay, I'm gonna leave the meeting and then I'm coming back. And now, this should not be this way. Why do I have everything be so difficult? You are the host now. Cannot start the video camera. Oh my God, this is so bad. I don't understand. I don't get it. Look, see, it keeps saying fail to start the video camera. Please select another video camera in settings. No, I'm definitely not doing great. Video settings, video effects, cam link 4. Why is no, oh my God, I'm sweating. Oh, I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed. I don't want to waste her time. This is embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. Zoom is annoying. It's not just you. Oh my God. Restart Zoom or you? Oh my God. Like I should be able to have my camera pop up because it's not being used anywhere else. Okay, I'm leaving again. Okay, I'm going to close out of Zoom. I'm going to open this back up. Honestly, fuck you, Zoom. Fuck you. Okay, cam link 4. Why is this not showing? Am I just going to have to go to Zoom on browser? That's crazy. Oh my God. Okay. Let me try this. Oh! Okay, skip for now and sign in. Okay. And then let me go to meetings, upcoming meetings, join. See, but it says open in Zoom meetings. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. No, I usually do figure it out, but it's like it's not being figured out this time. Oh, this is so bad. This is really bad. Okay, virtual camera. I have file. I don't know why. Video. Oh my God. Fran, I'm so sorry. Hold on. I'm just going to send her an email saying I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. 1 minute. I'm trying to fix my cam on Zoom. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is so bad. I'm leaving here. Okay. Join from Zoom Workplace. No, just let me enter on the browser. Why aren't you letting me join this meeting? Oh, so stressed. I'm just frustrated because I've done this before. This is really stressful. Oh my God. Select your camera. Why is this not working? Oh, I don't know. Hold on. Okay. It just keeps saying failed to start. The link to open in browser, it's not oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, having issues. Join from your browser. Okay. Let me try this. Just stay calm. Settings. Okay, enter into oh my God. Okay. Join meeting. Why do I have to put my own freaking meeting ID? Hold on. Okay. Let's try this. Open in Zoom meetings. No, it's not. That's not showing up. See, there's no like, it just keeps telling me to join from the Zoom Workplace app. Oh my God. I don't know. I'm leaving that. It's not even letting me join from the browser. What the hell? Oh, fucking hell. Is Haas here? Haas, I need help. I need help. I don't know. I literally cannot get my video to show. It's just not showing. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is really bad. You almost had it? No, it's saying failed to start the video camera. Please select another video camera in settings. But it won't. There's no Elgato. No. It's far from ideal. I just don't want to start. Oh my God, I'm already 10 minutes late. This is start virtual camera. Why is OBS virtual camera not working? Oh, okay. I might need to pivot to Discord. Okay. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I hate this so much. Okay. Let me just admit Fran into the room. So maybe that's why it's not working. I don't know. I think my Zoom is just breaking.
Oh, no.
Hi, I'm so sorry, Fran. I have spent 10 minutes frantically trying to get my Zoom to
Oh my
work.
God, no worries at all.
I
had work to catch up on. I've been trying to post this video for like 14 minutes at least. I don't know why I said 14, 40 minutes at least.
Yeah, I'm very much a professional streamer here. Oh my goodness.
You want me to exit and come back?
I don't think it's you. It's definitely me. I'm trying to figure out why. I don't. I just keep saying failed to start the video. Couple options. If I can't get this to work, I'll just have to pull my video up on my stream. And if you want to see my face, you can open my stream. Or we can try and do this through Discord. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm not
No,
trying
it's
to.
all good.
I know your time is precious.
All good. All good.
Okay. Let me see. I'm going to try something here. Try video capture. Okay. All right, let's go. Okay, see there I am. Y'all, it's just not in it's not in Zoom. But I do have my camera up there. So
Should I log into Twitch? Am I gonna pop up on your stream or should I just close my camera?
you can keep your camera up. So the way I have it right now is my community can see both of us.
Okay.
For some reason, my camera is just not working through Zoom right now.
That's
I
okay.
think I'm over Zoom. I think I've had too many issues with Zoom that
Yeah.
I'm done using it. But if you need visual, you can pull up my stream and then you can see my face. But otherwise, our audio is working. My community can see both of us. So
Okay.
it's up to you.
I will I'm fine. Your name is fantastic,
Okay,
and
great. Great. I'm
if
so sorry.
it's like if it gets really weird, I have a picture of you and
You can just stare at a photo of me. Yeah, you can just pull up my picture and look at that as we're talking. But otherwise, okay. Oh my goodness. What an exciting morning with tech difficulties, everybody. But that is the beauty of Twitch. That's how it goes here. Also, Fran, I started streaming when I was 30. So my community likes to call me a boomer in the sense that compared to a lot of other people on the platform, I have had to learn a lot of technology and I'm still very much so learning. So that's kind of a continuation here, of course.
I it wasn't until I started the gubernatorial campaign, like even when I was running for the state assembly, I was so reluctant to do video and it was weird for me to stare into my phone and I'm still kind of an amateur at it and it feels weird and I'm learning and I think it just, I've embraced that I'm kind of crotchety about it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard, but it is something that is the way of the world now, the way
Yeah.
young people are tapped in and the way
Mm-hmm.
that they communicate and that they consume their news. And as we go on in this new technological era, it's that shift of moving away from
Mm-hmm.
traditional legacy news and media towards the internet, towards content creators. That shift only gets greater. So that was
Mm-hmm.
something we saw a lot of too with Zohran Mamdani. I mean, obviously he had great policies to back it up because that's what it's all about. It's not about how good you are in social media because ultimately, if your policies suck, then people, a great YouTube video can only get you so far.
Exactly.
But anyway, okay, so sorry for the rough start there, but everybody, I'm so excited to finally get to talk with Francesca Hong. Francesca Hong, who you were elected to the you were a state representative.
Mm-hmm.
So you were elected in 2022, is that correct?
2020.
2020. Okay,
I
so
tend to
COVID
run for
era.
office. Yeah, I tend to run for office in a time of deep crisis.
Yes, 2020 was certainly that and uh we are not out of that crisis. And in fact, it has only deepened. So
Mm-hmm.
I have Fran here today and shouts out again to Pete the Noob, who's in this community, who's in Will's community, who helped facilitate this. And we are here to talk about Francesca's run for governor of Wisconsin. So if you're a Wisconsinite in chat, I hope you stick around. Francesca is awesome. You will see more of what I mean by that. But she is running to be your governor because Tony Evers decided not to run for a third term. He stepped down and paved a path here, which is already a very crowded field. A lot of people who are vying for the position, but Fran is here and let's just jump right into it. You want to start with talking about your background, how you even got into politics in the first place?
I am like, this is my home state, born and raised in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm a very proud daughter of Korean immigrants. My parents came here in the late 80s and they never left. Wisconsin has been home for my whole family. I didn't come up thinking that I would ever be in politics. I went to school to study journalism. I was hell-bent on becoming the next like Erin Andrews and being a sports journalist on
Mm-hmm.
ESPN, but fell in love with restaurants and I decided to drop out of college to cook full time. And I learned working in multiple restaurants, kind of line cooking and serving, and then ended up opening my own restaurant in 2016, the same time I had my son. So
Well,
hospitality,
that's a lot
yeah.
at once. Opening
Yep,
a restaurant
I
and
I
having a
tend to
child.
face the chaos, but it's the restaurant industry that that's who I am, is service industry, and I lead with servant leadership, and it's where I know in these third spaces we build community and connections. And folks, it's pretty hard to get mad at the person who's making you great food and drinks. And so I didn't know until I went into the legislature that a bunch of our regulars at the restaurant were Republican staffers. But
That's so interesting, and how that probably was not something that kept y'all from connecting and having a relationship. And I think it's a reminder that at the end of the day, we are all in this together, even if we have veered towards totally different political paths. And I think it's something where just because somebody votes differently from you or has voted differently from you doesn't mean that you cannot find what it is that we all have in common. And that's class consciousness, you know? So finding out that your staffers were Republican is not super surprising. It is Wisconsin. I had a couple siblings who went to University of Wisconsin at Madison. So I spent, let's see, I started going to Madison in 2010. And I remember a lot of my sister's friends were Republican. By the end of college, they kind of no longer were, but I come from a very blue, very Democrat family. My family worked on Obama's campaign. We were kind of the liberal family in the places that I grew up. It was the Kwans are the Democrats, but I lived in Iowa, so we were there during the very important 2008 race and the caucus there. But yeah, so Wisconsin is a state that is it's a battleground state. You know, it's one of those that every presidential election people kind of pay attention to in ways that they haven't before. But you are running to be governor of the state. So as far as kind of addressing what's happening nationally, the of course pain and suffering that people in your state are feeling at a state level, but also due to the policies that Donald Trump and the Republicans have been enacting. What's kind of your strategy as far as you are underway in your campaign, as you are talking to constituents? How are you balancing, like, I am running for the people of Wisconsin, but also am going to be an obstacle, going to not bend at the knee to Donald Trump?
I was in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, which is a very small town in north central Wisconsin, and about 20 people showed up to our meet and greet, and one of those folks was Carrie. And at the end of the meeting, she told me that she's been telling her neighbors about me and saying she's one of us. I'm the working class candidate that is a legislator, but also working multiple jobs, a single mom who's also a renter. And I've been struggling with rising costs. And, my business closed in 2024 because rent skyrocketed and so did costs of goods. And so being the relatable candidate that is able to unite working class folks all across the state, regardless of zip code, it allows me to build a coalition and meet this moment with a movement, because it's only mass movements that have transformed and changed and challenged, authoritarianism. And in Wisconsin, actually, the last couple of decades, or the last decade, Scott Walker enacted authoritarianism. He started it. We defunded our public schools. We got rid of our trains. We saw the divisions being sown between rural and urban areas. And so this time is now for working class people power. And I think our campaign really has the advantage in uniting the left, but also affirming how people have been felt behind, and they're tired of the status quo and they're ready to kick the establishment's ass with me.
When you ran for state rep, did you run as a Democratic Socialist? Okay, so
Mm-mm.
you ran as a Democrat. And
Yes.
then you are one of the 4 members of the Socialist Caucus in the legislature.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Very proud to be.
yeah. Have you noticed a difference, I guess, in the way that people you talk to, your constituents, or as you're running for governor, of course you're running statewide. Have you noticed a difference in how, say, the word socialist is being maybe embraced more, or people are a little less scared? We've had some major democratic socialists and socialist victories, and I think somebody like you, knowing how to, you have this label which has a lot of baggage due to the opposition making it so, making socialist a very scary word. And yet you know how to speak to people. You speak their language because you are one of them. You have a working class background. So have you noticed a difference in the last couple years from when you entered politics to now?
Absolutely. And one of the most important voting blocks in Wisconsin are young voters, the 18 to 25-year-olds, college students, and even folks, just coming out of high school. And socialism, especially amongst, traditional Dem voters who are young folks, is gaining a lot of popularity. And there's an apathy towards this two-party system that really has made it, has worsened quality of life for young people. And there's so much uncertainty around like job security and what their future is going to look like. And, I'm a elder millennial, but most other millennials in our communities, it's like home ownership is completely out of reach. And there's no childcare is so unaffordable. Starting a family, feels like it's never going to happen. So it's it's time for folks to embrace a different type of leadership and governing structure where working class policies that improve everyone's life and allows us to live a life of dignity. This is something that's rising because folks are really feeling the negative impacts and how the fascist policies from DC, as well as having an authoritarian Republican majority in our state legislature for over a decade, has harmed people's lives and made it harder to live in our state. And so folks are ready for change, and we need transformative change, because I always tell people that when we stop imagining better, that's when fascism wins. And so it's not about going in and like nibbling at the edges. Incrementalism is irresponsible right now. Folks are ready for free childcare, fully funded public schools, paid leave for all, and expanded badger care for all. And when I talk about these kitchen table economic issues, folks get excited. There may be some hesitation on like how we're going to implement them, but that's why our campaign, we're going to be scrutinized for how these policies are going to work. We've got the most comprehensive policy page. We have people working on the budgeting and how we're going to pay for folks, and we're going to fucking tax the billionaires.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about incrementalism and how we no longer can have a politics of incrementalism. And I know that's a big part of your campaign and what you stress over and over again. And can you talk about, first of all, your main policy platform? Obviously, you're leading with economic justice and with making life affordable for Wisconsinites. But also, as far as kind of the attitudes of people who, as you said, they may be a little unsure of how these policies will be enacted, but at the same time, they're willing to take the chance, right? They want somebody who's swinging big. They don't want someone who is saying to them, "Oh, well, we can't do any of this stuff, so more of the status quo," or we're just regressing. So it's either the options of getting worse or more of the same, which is really getting worse as well.
Yeah, when people say we can't do better and we can't have these things, it's bullshit. We can restructure the tax system. We can make sure that our kids have great public schools to go to. When we talk about universal childcare, we have a childcare crisis. It's in Wisconsin, it's across the country, and we've got a plan to make sure that our providers have subsidies from the state and that families of four right now, 400% above the poverty line, are able to have free childcare from 0 to 12. So these are policies that we have to enact to meet this moment where there is mass suffering and honestly a federal like fascist government that is endorsing mass suffering and death. And I don't see any other like incremental policies that are able to meet a moment where we have to deliver for folks and improve quality of life. And this is what is going to benefit the Democrats as well, because we're building out this progressive organizing infrastructure. Like this is what we're doing in uniting, folks across the state. We've got almost 1,400 volunteers. Actually, I think we just went over that. 300 people in our Slack channel, folks coming together to build community and organize. And that's going to continue past November. And so when you deliver for working class folks and they feel that the people in charge are improving like the material conditions of their lives, they're probably going to keep supporting that sort of leadership. And so this is what's needed, not just to make sure that working class people build power, but that we're doing it sustainably. And our campaign is talking about permanent affordability, and that can only happen with universal programs.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to talk about the challenges that you in the legislature right now. So you are one of 4 members of the Socialist Caucus. You have Democrats to contend with, centrist Dems to contend with. You have Republicans who are in control of both chambers, however, no longer have a supermajority, which is the first time in a hot minute that Republicans don't have a supermajority. So as far as right now, how do you and the other Democratic Socialists in the caucus push for these real working class first, populist progressive policies, and then kind of looking ahead to being governor, how you will continue to have to, I guess, fight against or work with the members of the legislature?
We show up with receipts for socialist policies. We are constantly organizing in our communities and making sure when we introduce legislation that it is comprehensive with a communications organizing plan, that we're working with key stakeholders who are organizing in their communities and grassroots. And so these are the receipts that we show up with when we introduce policies. And we've got folks who understand that this is what's, most important and probably going to improve people's lives and their constituents as well. They're just kind of socialist adjacent. And I think our responsibility is really to pull the members that are more centrist left, showing how popular these pieces of legislation are. And we vote as a block. And so we don't vote on things that are penalty enhancers and invest in harmful law enforcement. We make sure that there are no unfunded mandates, that when bills are introduced, there's funding available to implement it. And so this is also about relationship building. And I have put in the work, and so have my socialist colleagues, to ensure that we're supporting candidates who are running in really difficult districts. We've shown up and canvassed for them. I've fundraised for folks. So we're building these relationships outside of the legislature as well with candidates, which helps us really build our case that we're doing the work and the folks are supporting us and we're listening to the leadership on the ground of grassroots organizations. And that is a mentality that I'm going to bring to the governor's office. And we have to set the expectations at these universal policies. And as the executive, it's important that I work collaboratively more with the Democrats, but present a budget, which is one of the first things that gets introduced around February of the odd number year session. And that budget is going to reflect what we have been campaigning on. And so setting that expectation, bringing folks to the table on how we're going to implement this, and being unafraid to govern. I don't plan on being in this position forever. I'm not planning for a political future, and that allows me to govern unafraid and use executive power if I need to, declare states of emergencies, because I don't know what other time could be more needed in the right response to deal with fascism and the harm that's coming to our communities from DC, than to make sure that I'm using every single lever to be able to protect communities and improve lives.
When you talk to people in Wisconsin, are you seeing them even if they voted for, say, Donald Trump in the last election, which Wisconsin did go to Trump? Are they making the connection between, say, their SNAP and Medicaid benefits getting cut and looking ahead to 2026, that only worsening? Are they connecting it with what's happening nationally to how they're being affected in their communities in Wisconsin? And is this something that when you talk to them about your campaign and who you are and you're running for governor, they don't necessarily care that you're a Democrat, that you're a Democratic Socialist. They care first and foremost what you're offering them and how you are addressing their cost of living, whether they are, rising, whether they are a farmer, whether they are a student, whether they are a family with young children. So are these the kinds of conversations that you've been having where you're talking to people who voted for Trump, but they are their concern is, how are you going to make my life easier and less expensive?
Yes, it's important to having these conversations. It's not easy as a candidate to show up in spaces and especially when you're a Democrat or Democratic Socialist and folks are willing to engage with you. That's why it's so important that I am campaigning in spaces like dive bars and community potlucks, and we're planning to go to some racetracks and bowling alleys. And I'm not going to introduce myself as a candidate for governor. I'm going to engage folks in a way that allows me to connect to them with a personal story, something that I'm concerned about as a single mom, childcare cost. As somebody who is really worried about what's going to happen with healthcare costs. And once you get someone to tell a story, then you understand just the specific struggle. And I was in Shawano, Wisconsin, and in a dive bar at the end of the night, and I was talking to a gentleman, and he was, mentioning how he he had voted for Trump, and he works in like manufacturing in a factory, and the working conditions and what's going on with living wages and seeing nothing being done, especially when it comes to substance abuse. They're starting to see that the rising costs are, really like the impact and the scale and the speed in which it's happening. That I think is what allows folks to connect to that, is because of the federal government. And I remind people that the state legislature, right, the closer the government is to your door, the more impact and like the more impact they're going to have. And the state legislature has been ruled by Republicans, and it hasn't made my life easier. It hasn't lowered my taxes, and I'm seeing my tax dollars going to tax cuts for the rich and the largest corporations. And so there's also a common villain. And when I talk about billionaires and mega corporations getting these tax breaks and not paying their fair share, and that we're working multiple jobs and they get to watch their wealth grow, not doing shit. It gets folks to identify the villain, even if it's not Trump, that it's mega corporations and millionaires. And I'm always swearing when I'm talking to folks. I'm that's me
Yeah.
being me, right?
Yeah.
And then when they find out I'm a candidate for governor, again, that relatability, and she's one of us, and I have legislative experience in introducing these bills that are the policies that I'm talking about. I've introduced the bill for paid leave for all, for universal school meals, funding public education. And so that allows me at the back end, to say, look, I'm not coming in like without experience of how the sausage is made. Like that place is dysfunctional as hell, and we need not only reform, but eventually we're going to need revolution.
Yeah, I think the unfiltered speaking to people in a way that feels real and that connects with them. And I think there's this attitude that Donald Trump was able to seize on with his faux populism, but this
Yeah.
attitude of people being more and more against the establishment, making the connection that corporations and billionaires are ruining their lives. So even if they vote Republican, they are they're understanding more
Yeah.
that these corporate overlords who they did not put into power and
Hmm.
who have been able to use this system to benefit themselves while everybody else suffers for it. I think there's what I have seen is I feel the beginning of that consciousness, and then it's kind of just connecting the rest of the dots and being there for working class people, no matter what their voting histories are, and
Yeah.
saying, hey, I hear you. And I'm just like you. And this is what my plan is. I'm not going to run for office. I'm not going to lead by a politics of fear. I'm not going to tell you like, yeah, shit's pretty bad, but at least I'm not the other guy, because that does not inspire people.
Hmm.
And I do think, even though New York is a very different state from Wisconsin, and the mayoralship is different than being governor, I do think looking at Zoran Mamdani's electoral victory, the energy around that, the excitement around that, what we've seen across the country already. And I think just the feeling in this moment is one that you have talked about wanting to seize on. Like, the time is now, using
Yeah.
this momentum. Socialists are out there organizing, and I guess can you talk more about why you feel this is the moment, why there is this momentum, and how do we keep riding this so that it's not another blip, it doesn't just fizzle out, people who are excited right now don't then give up again and go, see, nothing's going to change.
But it did change with Mamdani's race. And I
Mhm.
think I heard this in one of Graham Plattner's town hall, where the mayor of the town he was at said, this is about the many and not the money. And Mamdani's campaign was social proof of that. It was proof of that, that his tens of thousands of volunteers came out and took down the establishment and the millions of dollars that was getting put into Cuomo's campaign after the primary. And so this is about, we have to talk about it in power, right? That working class people power, there are more of us, and it's possible for the many to defeat the money. And that is what organizers, especially our volunteers, are talking about. But we also have to be like Dems and socialists, we got to get emotional. We have to affirm people's very justified anger and struggle right now and present the solutions and response of what's possible. Like we make better possible together when we have somebody in government that fucking gets it
Mm-hmm.
and wants to bring about transformative change because we can't respond in a different way. And then I also talk about lowering property taxes and that when you have options where childcare is free and your schools are fully funded and the government is fixing roads, especially for our farmers who have to drive massive trucks on roads that are crumbling, like these are concrete things that government has a responsibility to fix. And it's not growing government and it's not making it like putting things into your life. It's having those there so things can be better for you. And I always talk about, look, I don't care who you voted for in 24. I want you to have quality, affordable healthcare. These are things we can do at the state when the federal government is failing us.
Mm-hmm. I have a couple people in chat wondering about DSA in Wisconsin and how if they are organizing with your campaign or just how your kind of outreach has been with other democratic socialist organizing groups in order to, this is a statewide race. It's a
Yeah.
crowded field. You are a newer politician. You're the youngest who's, I think, in the gubernatorial race right now. So it's a matter of also just getting your face and name out there
Yeah.
because a lot of people do not know who their state reps are. I worked in Illinois state politics, and so
Mhm.
uh, yeah, it's just starting off by going, hey, I'm your state representative,
Yeah.
or if I'm not your representative, I am running statewide to be governor. So what's the organizing strategy here? What's the as far as how's your campaign looking with volunteers? Also, how can this community help you if we have people who live in Wisconsin, or if not, just how to assist but also somebody like you who's running a campaign like this?
Well, we've got the two big chapters of DSA chapters, Madison and Milwaukee, where there's over 600 members in each chapter. And I'm currently going through the endorsement process right now, but we already have DSA members who are in our Slack channel and volunteering. We have almost 1,400 volunteers. We might have actually hit over that, who have signed up, and they're from all over the state. And what that allows us to do, especially from folks who are in smaller communities, they're able to help us reach their community because I can't just be showing up at, the county party meetings for the Democrats. That's me just meeting, old Dems who have been volunteering for Dems
Mm-hmm.
forever, right? I need to make sure that I'm going to small businesses and reaching out to young folks and farmers and people who don't always go to political events. And so our volunteers who are all over the state are helping us actually organize events. And we've got resources for them like Town Hall in a Box, how you can organize a town hall and make sure to keep track of the new volunteers that are coming to your event. So we're not only resourcing and building, stronger organizers, we're creating this community where people are sharing ideas. And because we have folks who have never volunteered for a campaign before, this is the first one. And so maybe they've never canvassed or text banked. It's like they're bringing a fresh perspective that allows us to reach more people. And we have the strongest digital program of the field. Obviously, Barnes is coming in with a larger platform, but that digital program, it's what's allowed us to, build this online warrior force that's connecting with people in Wisconsin that aren't in their immediate community. And this digital presence that we have has allowed me to grow my name recognition. And then it's so important because we don't know if the folks who are in the comments are like how many votes that's going to translate to. So I am covering a lot of ground, and I've been doing it for the last 5 years. It isn't just right now with the campaign. And so, folks can support any of this infrastructure, but we right now have a huge fundraising deadline at the end of the month. And after January 1st, we're going to start seeing how much people have raised for their campaigns. And we need to come out strong. We're a grassroots campaign. We've got donations coming in from all across the state, like 67 out of 72 counties, 49 out of 50 states. But these are amazing small dollar donors because our campaign is reaching working class votes. So we need to keep increasing the number of people who are donating. And honestly, $1, $5, $10, that it goes a long way for us because we've got many folks supporting us. And then you can always sign up to volunteer, francescahong.com. We've got, again, I'm hoping for 2,000 volunteers by the end of this month, and I think we can do it.
Y'all, just FYI, I linked the Act Blue donation link there on Francesca's website. The thing is, when you are on the left, when you are a socialist, when you are a grassroots volunteer run candidate or grassroots candidate with a reliance on volunteers for your campaign, small dollar donations are crucial. This is not somebody who is taking PAC money, corporate money, billionaire money, because Francesca is a person who is in direct opposition to those interests. So just like we talk about here, unfortunately, there's no grifting to the left because our principles and what we advocate for is in opposition to the moneyed powers who are funding the massive right-wing ecosystem online. Also centrist Democrats, liberals who were caught up in the in the recent, oh God, what was it again? The story that Taylor reported on. Anyway, so when you're on the left, you are Francesca is reliant upon small dollar donations, and a lot of them, and it all adds up. So if you have $1, $5, $10, that's the kind of thing that a campaign like this really, really relies on. Can you ask her how she feels about Mandela Barnes joining the race? Do you have thoughts right now on your competition, which is a lot of people have thrown their name in the ring to be the next governor?
A crowded primary is good for democracy. It means that we're going to have to debate on the issues. And I think, he came out running a more centrist campaign, which was surprising, but that means I have an opportunity to differentiate myself even more. And I've been talking a lot more about I'm the only democratic socialist. I'm the only legislator who has not only passed bill, but I've introduced the legislation for my platform. I'm the only one who has a comprehensive policy platform, and the working class mom who also is a service industry worker now and have owned a restaurant for 7 years. And so we had another centrists put their hat in the ring this week, Joel Brennan. And so we're going to keep running our grassroots campaign, and we're building a movement. And I think that's what's going to set us apart. And if we do this in Wisconsin, I think it's going to transform politics across the country and how people need to do campaigning differently, and how they're messaging on policies that are resonating with all working class people.
Mm-hmm. And the way that you force Democrats to the left is through victories like this, is through amassing this kind of grassroots power, because otherwise they won't feel like their feet are being held to the fires. They're just going to continue on as is, maintaining status quo if they don't feel any challenge. I mean, when Bernie was running in the primaries twice, the reason that healthcare was being talked about by the other candidates in the race, why it was a national topic of conversation, was because of his popularity and because of how many people, how many voters were showing that they care about healthcare.
Yeah.
Healthcare, everybody needs healthcare. Healthcare is so crucial to people's lives, and how expensive it is, how inaccessible it is. Even when you have healthcare, you pay so much fucking money still. You don't necessarily have great coverage.
And people are going
And
to be paying tens of thousands of dollars more for their premiums because
yes.
the Senate fucking failed. And we knew that this was going to happen when Dems, cowered and gave in and, uh, reopened the government without getting anything for
Yeah.
it.
Yes. And so these are issues that it does not matter where somebody falls on the political spectrum. These are everyday American concerns.
Yeah.
Cost of living, affordability, all of these economic table issues. That is how you this is how you get people to listen, is by offering them an answer, a promise to their problems that is genuinely how you lead a campaign of joy, not in the way that Kamala Harris said she was leading a campaign of joy while the policies were not reflecting that at all. It's like the joy comes from inspiring people, from motivating them towards motivating them towards a politics of bettering their lives. And that's what gets them engaged. That's what gets them to tune back in, is when they feel like, oh, wait a second, there are people who are running for me, who do represent me and my interests, and politics can work for me. It doesn't just have to be this thing that I shake my head and go, well, more of the same bullshit. And I do feel in this moment that this is the energy, that this is what people need. They are showing across this country that this is what they're so desperate for. And it's been very exciting to see candidates like you pop up and go, I'm here to meet this moment.
With a movement. And we're hearing affordability be thrown around, and I'm really glad that Dems are talking about it. And it was the Mamdani campaign that showed how important that message is. But you got to have a plan. You got to name the villain, right? That this is about taxing the billionaires and the mega corporations who have been robbing us of economic security and being able to do well and get by and do better than get by. And I think that's why we're gonna get scrutinized for how we're gonna support and implement the policies that we're fighting for, and we're building all of that. And so that's why we talk about permanent affordability and that politics of joy. It's also a politics of care right now. When we did our Medicaid town halls, I was traveling across the state even before, I announced my candidacy, and folks were saying at the end of them, like, what can I do? Like, what do we do? And to give folks a lane to build to build a movement and folks are feeling in community, just being on this campaign that's bigger than me, right? It's bigger than a cause. It's allowing us to imagine better. And when we don't imagine better, that's when fascism wins. And so that, we're hopefully setting the example and the infrastructure on how we can keep fighting fascism by actually coming together, organizing, and bringing about transformative change. And this this is not just me throwing fucking romantic talking points out, right? Like I'm fucking seeing it in this campaign, and whenever I feel like I can't fucking do this, I go into the volunteer Slack, and it's amazing to see the ideas folks are coming up with to make sure we're running a creative campaign.
Mm-hmm.
We need to bring creativity and curiosity back into politics, and that joy and that care. And while I have resting bitch face quite a bit, I think it mattered that like Zoran was always smiling, and he showed up in spaces where people were celebrating their diversity, their culture. He was showing up in spaces where people don't often get to meet a mayoral candidate, and I'm very much using that strategy to make sure that people, they know that we care. And we hear that when we go to rural communities, like, and we did it early. They're like, thank you for coming up here. And, I thank them for staying engaged.
I think too, whether you're Zoran who has that big smile and is always always laughing, even when there were definitely moments that he
Yeah.
he was laughing through the racist attacks. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think with you, you know, you can hear even if you have resting bitch face, which I think just kind of is par for the course in being a Wisconsinite. It's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's how they are. I think you can hear in your voice, you can hear in your passion, in the vision that you have for Wisconsin and for this country overall, that's the joy, that's the inspiration, that's the politics of care, where you're not saying to people, this other guy's a lot worse though, but Orange Man bad, but yeah, everything's bad, but I'm not as bad. I'm
It's
incrementally
not enough to
better.
just be yelling about Trump. It's
it's
not
it's
enough.
not enough. It's not enough to just keep saying Orange Man bad. And so
Yeah.
I think people hear in the way you talk and in what you're saying that you genuinely care and you envision a better future because you are a person who is working class. You are a single mother. You have this background in the service industry. Like, this is your life. These policies affect your life as well. So why the hell would you not be pushing for something better for
Yeah.
everyone, which includes you, which includes your child, which includes, your neighbors. So I think, I think that is such a strong, such a strong asset that you have, is truly being from the people and knowing how to speak their language and how to get past the labels, how to kind of take maybe complicated ideas or ideas that have been made complicated by
Yep.
by the people who don't want those ideas put into action, and just simplify it, right?
Yeah.
Be like, look, this doesn't have to be something uh where like, you're not talking in the way that Pete Buttigieg talks, for instance, where people just tune the fuck out, where he kind of has this he's got this very kind of elitist democratic
Mm-hmm.
vibe to him that people in Wisconsin, whether they're in rural areas or more metropolitan areas, like, they don't want to hear someone talk that way anymore. They just want somebody
No.
to get right to it.
Mm-hmm. Elitism has been an absolute poison for the
Yes.
Democratic Party. And, the reliance on just catering to the college educated, white voters, the suburban moms. Like we saw investment in our eastern parts of the state in the suburbs. And I was thinking to myself, look, we knew that these areas were going to start shifting blue because you had younger families moving out of Milwaukee and into the suburbs. And they were younger families and they have resources and more time to organize. So that's like, I felt like that was going to happen without a ton of support with like more volunteers or money. I am glad that area is turning bluer, but then we didn't start to make gains, even if they were small ones in rural areas, in red areas. And or Republicans are starting to crack into Dane County and Milwaukee County, the two bluest counties in the state. And it doesn't matter if they're going to win the whole district. Like they're making little inroads. And so we absolutely have to do that. And the message, economic populism is going to help us do that in deep red areas where this trust of Trump is withering and folks want results. And we have to deliver with a sense of urgency because shit is really bad. And if we don't deliver for folks soon, we're going to lose that support, that hope, that they're, we want them to think and feel that government can be a force of good. And, I really give a shit about people across this state because I love this state, and it's the state that has given my family opportunities that I'm choosing to raise my son in. It's where I chose to have a business, and I want it to be better for everyone because it's just getting harder. And in the end, it's what I tell folks is even if you don't vote for me, I really give a shit about you and what happens in your life. Something I can promise.
I want to open up the floor, the floor being my community. Kind of, I know you recently did a Reddit AMA as well. So kind of a little AMA, maybe a couple questions from the community. I know that people in here live in Wisconsin, but even if you don't live in Wisconsin, you're wherever you are, you're facing a similar situation. This is something that matters to you, that's important for your future as well, whether or not you're Wisconsinite.
They
Okay,
say, as goes Wisconsin, as goes the country.
as goes the
So we
country.
we're foreshadowing what might happen. And if we have a socialist victory across the state, I think a lot more good is going to happen for a lot more people in America.
I see. Okay, so I've seen a couple questions on Israel, divesting from Israel. I think I want to kind of wrap this up in what's the sense you've gotten from voters, and also how are you communicating with Wisconsinites when it comes to Israel, when it comes to more cultural and social issues like LGBTQ rights, where people are obviously concerned about their rising costs of living, about affordability. Economic issues are their number one. But we saw, and we have continued to see, that standing strong on Israel and Palestine is something that is important to people. I believe that was an asset to Zoran in the mayoral election, or in the mayoral race. And then also, how do you approach talking about protecting trans and queer people in the state without people kind of going, oh God, here's the culture shit that I don't care about. I care about my groceries. So sorry, I know that's a lot kind of wrapped up in one question, but
No, I'll say that it is something that's brought up with working class folks who are a little bit more comfortable right now. Who, I know there's a middle manufacturing factory up in Northeast Wisconsin, and they offer like subsidies for childcare, and the workers are unionized, and there's living wages, and a lot of the talk is the culture issues. When people ask me about it, I point to my record. I introduced a ceasefire resolution within 2 weeks of October 7th. I was one of the first politicians to name the genocide as a genocide. I led an Our Uninstructed movement, which is the Wisconsin, what we called the undecided movement. And I think that leading with moral courage allows us to build more trust from the voters. And it's important that elected officials use their platforms to support organizers, right? So it wasn't just enough for me to say I'm voting uninstructed. I had a responsibility to bring more elected officials in to be the face of this as well, to show voters that we are with you on this. We want to send a message and we want this administration to change course. And, we've got the IHRA, the definition of anti-Semitism. It's been one of the things that we're seeing across the country. These bills pop up, and we have amazing organizers here in the Madison and Milwaukee area. But we're also seeing that the genocide, a lot of people are. That's a single issue. And when it comes to trans rights and LGBTQ rights, I again point to the record of how, my committee on education, I'm the ranking member on it, and that's where all the awful bathroom bills, the anti-trans sports bills come through. And I those are like 10, 12-hour hearings where the community shows up to fiercely defend one another. And I want to uplift those stories to show how the trans community is, a community that we should be gaining a lot of leadership from and using as an example. And when I'm talking to folks who are, blaming and giving into these culture war issues, I talk about how this is like 1% of the entire country. And the people that are harming our communities are the billionaires and the mega corporations. And they want us to be distracted and divided. And, how is hating this community improving your life?
Yeah. Yes, that's so key to. I say that on my stream as well, where it's like, do you think your enemy is a working class trans person? Is the bartender who's trans? Is the students who are protesting to protect Palestinian lives? Like, do you really think that that's who your enemy is? Or is your enemy over here? And I think what you're talking about, and what we've also seen with other successful socialists or other leftist candidates, is they don't back down on being pro-Palestinian, on being pro trans and queer rights, but they still continue to lead with that economic populist message. And the reminder being that we're all working class. And I always tell people too, trans people are a small percentage of our population, but they are our working class sisters and brothers. And they are also out here needing healthcare. They are also out here needing to have a life that's more affordable, on top of these severe restrictions that are being put on their ability to exist. And I think in bridging all of these issues, you make it very clear of where you stand, and that you stand with the people, and that's all the people.
Yeah.
And as long as you are leading clearly with that strong economic message, I don't believe at all that you have to throw any of these groups under the bus. And I think it only serves you politically to show that you are morally consistent, that you are principled, that these are not, you're not doing the politics game where you're figuring out, ooh, how can I'm going to change my tune here because I'm trying to appease this group over here.
Political expediency and political comfort is not how you should be making decisions as an elected official.
Right.
We are public servants, which means we serve everyone in the public. And so when we are throwing communities under the bus, when there is a clear villain here as to why people's lives are hard right now, it's irresponsible. and it doesn't allow us to unite as a coalition of working class people. And again, there are more of us than the corporate overlords and the billionaires. And we have seen, again, through the Mamdani campaign, that it is possible for the many to beat the money. And so it's, to me, it's unacceptable when folks give into the culture wars and think that we have to name a different villain when trans folks and communities that are on the margins are just trying to live their lives. And there's a little bit of language that I think politicians can actually gain. Like, a lot of the right is there's still gung ho on taxes and fiscal responsibility and small government. And I'm like, well, it's pretty big government when you have politicians trying to impact, getting to people's doctor's offices when they
Yeah.
might need an abortion. It's big government when people are telling trans folks how to live. It's big government when you've got people criminalizing the poor. When right now, like, folks are just trying to live their lives.
Yeah.
And government has a responsibility to let folks do that the way they want to. Um, and if we can't, it's an attack on our freedom. And I talk about having policies that are pro-family, pro-worker, pro-freedom. And there's like bipartisan support for policies like universal paid leave, because it's this like awful sentiment around what the nuclear family has to be. But paid leave is something that's pro-family, which is a value that, most of the public has. And so it's it's these types of connections and this type of language that again helps unite us as working class people, and we can pivot away from the culture war while still acknowledging that that's something that like we can't shame folks for, but help them kind of reprioritize what we should be fighting for.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful answer. Thank you so much. I know I'm combining a lot here. Looking through chat. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, there have been a couple questions. Let's see. A couple questions about the issue with gerrymandering and redistricting, and how how you're seeing that as an obstacle to progressive wins, but also like how to, as in Wisconsin, how to be challenging that cheating. That's
Yeah.
essentially what it is.
Yeah.
It's cheating. So I have a questions about gerrymandering, and then about ICE, and about how just how you're addressing that with Wisconsinites, and what the fight looks like there. So we'll do those two, and then I know you're busy, so I'll let you go.
Sure. No, these are great questions. So, when Scott Walker came in about 14 years ago, they not only gerrymandered the state, did some behind the scenes bullshit. They really weakened the power of the executive and the attorney general. And they knew that would give more power to the legislature, which allowed them to rule in an authoritarian way. But in like once we flipped the Supreme Court to a liberal majority, we were able to pass fairer maps. And so for 2026, we're looking at taking back the Senate. We only need 2 seats there. And then in the Assembly, it's a little harder path. We need to protect all of our incumbents and gain 5 more seats. But as we're seeing across the country, turnout is increasing for Dems, and there is clearly a persuasion tactic where if we stay disciplined to an economic populist populism message, we're able to bring more folks out to vote for the Dem, or at least not vote for the Republican. And so there is a path. We have been, again, traveling across the state, helping candidates, and we need all of our caucus to be laser focused on these 10 really competitive assembly seats. And once we have a Democratic majority for the 2027 session, I mean, I've got a top 10 of policies that I just want to make sure we're ramming through to make happen and deliver for working class folks. But it's gonna be an absolute slog for the assembly seats, and I think that that we have enough brawlers, and hopefully no betrayers that are going to be investing their time and money. Like, we can't be hoarding campaign funds and not giving them to the competitive seats. We're going to see state assembly and senate races in the $4 or $5 million, and it's absurd, but we got to fucking power through. And then when it comes to ICE, the executive has a responsibility to use every single privilege, power, and platform to declare that, ICE is not welcome in Wisconsin. I have publicly declared that we have to abolish ICE, and we
Fuck
also have to
yes.
use policy. Like, we got to be taxing any detention facility that's opening and the motherfuckers that own them. We have to prevent 287G agreements and make sure that there's no cooperation between local law enforcement at the town, city, or county level with ICE. And we're seeing community show up even more than government to protect their neighbors. And so this organizing, mass organizing, we've got, if folks go to my website or actually my social media pages on Instagram, I have a PDF that is, it's a slide deck that's updated with folks who are in the Know Your Rights trainings. They update it. You can share it and actually have your own training sessions in your communities. And sometimes we're seeing the recording and people literally putting their bodies on the line. And I'm an elected official that's willing to put my body on the line. But there's got to be every single lever that the executive uses to fight ICE and the fact that these fascists are disappearing people, and forcing us to live in fear. And I think we have to remember that families who are impacted by this, their safety is actually incumbent on anonymity. And so as neighbors, like, we have to be showing up to schools, walking our students who are on the margins, and they're worried about their parents, not being there. They need a community around them to walk them to school. Educators need to be trained on Know Your Rights, and folks have to be vigilant on forcing ICE to show a warrant that's signed by it's a judicial signed warrant, and it's important that it's at the grassroots mutual aid and community level, that every elected official is using their platform and privilege, and the executive that has the most privilege and power is exercising every single lane that they can.
You heard it, folks. And from California, if I could, I would cast my vote for Fran. I know that there's other topics we have not gotten to, but go to Fran's website, follow her socials, be paying attention to this campaign, not just if you live in Wisconsin, but also this is the moment, this is the momentum. And this is what we need to be seeing across the great United States. And before we end this conversation, Fran, what do you do to keep yourself calm? Do you watch TV? Do you play video games? Do you listen to music? What are your kind of go-tos in order to just give yourself a little break, have a little escape?
I do binge. I watch, I don't care for any cooking shows except the Great British Bake Off.
Oh, yes.
As a chef, I get asked about the bear all the time, and I'm like, dude, I love the
No.
wholesome, community
Like,
folks
I
that
don't
are
want to
like
have an
coming
anxiety.
out.
I feel like the bear is so stressful. You're like, I experienced that in my life. Why would I watch a show
Yeah, it's
that
like
is my
triggering.
life?
Yeah. The character development and the stories and the acting is phenomenal, but I don't want to give folks hot takes or answer to this. That was really what it was like.
Yeah.
And people are already trying to dissect restaurants too much. And I'm like, I want third spaces in restaurants to be places of care
Yeah.
and can lead in talking about strengthening our food systems. And also, people have to remember that the restaurant ecosystem is like a a microcosm of the class struggles and all of the injustices in our broader society, whether it comes to workers being exploited or like corporate power when it comes to who's the investor in the restaurant, and who is showing up and how they're treating service industry workers. But like ultimately, it's about care and nourishment and feeling really proud about serving folks, and creating an experience for them. And so my escape is Great British Bake Off. It's also my son's favorite show.
Oh, cute. You watch that
Yeah,
together?
yeah. And then I do some rage laps around the Capitol, especially
Nice.
when I'm working
Yeah.
in the committees or I've got work inside the legislature. I do laps around the Capitol, and it definitely calms me down.
Yeah. Also, are you a Packers fan? Are you a football
Oh,
watcher?
I mean, every socialist should be a Packers fan. We are the only publicly owned NFL team. It is
Wow.
like the local economy and how it is.
Y'all heard it
It is
here.
the most, yeah, it is the most uniting thing is our love for the Green Bay Packers, and we've got love all across the world. Like there are Packer bars all across the world, and it's awesome, and everyone should be a part of our community and remind people that the Bears still suck.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck the Bears. I say this as a person from Chicago. I don't care about the Bears. So I'll say fuck the Bears. Let's go Packers. No longer with Aaron Rodgers, who made his way over to the Jets and then blew his Achilles out in the first 5 minutes of the game. And my boyfriend is a Jets fan, and I will never forget him going, "We are watching this game as a family." And it was us two and our dog. And I went, "Oh, okay." I come over, I had just barely sat down, and then I see Aaron Rodgers do what he did, and I went, "Is this supposed to happen?" Like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a lot of shakeup there with the Packers and the Jets, and that's football, baby. Anyway, Fran, thank you so much for giving us your time, for everything that you're doing in Wisconsin. And I am going to link this one more time, y'all. This is Fran's. This is where you can go to donate to Fran. Also, I'm just going to link her website as well to see more of her policies and familiarize yourself with who she is, what she's running on. And any last words before we part ways here?
Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go, and solidarity forever.
Solidarity forever. And for comrades out there, thanks for all the support.
Thank you, Fran, and thank you for putting up with the fact that my camera didn't work.
All good.
I
All
appreciate you.
good. I'm happy to be here, and I really appreciate you having me.
Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, y'all.
Bye. Oh my God, y'all. I am, first of all, thinking about the fact that if her team watches this, I just want to say, Fran's team, if you watch the stream and you're cutting any bits, I apologize for the first 10 minutes when I was having a breakdown because I could not figure out my camera. Not my proudest moment. Unfortunately, fortunately, something that I still haven't gotten better at after 3 years of streaming. But I thought, aside from that, the conversation, I'm done with you. Why are you done with me? I thought the conversation was great. I thought it was wonderful. Hold on a second. You interviewed super well. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, wait, why are you done with me? What did I do? Failed to determine. There's nothing even here. It's just a black screen. This feels like a metaphor. Anyway, okay, so thank you to everybody who joined in for that. Oh, this is my first 10 minutes of the stream. Yeah, no, of the interview. Thank you to everyone who joined in for that. I think Francesca is amazing. I wish I could illegally vote for her from here in California. I wish I could vote 100,000 times. But I thought that was great. I haven't done an interview in a minute, so I hope that that was instructive, constructive. That y'all liked that. Hopefully we got some more Franimals in chat. I have talked to Hassan about talking to I have talked to Hassan about talking to Fran because I think I think that this would be a really good opportunity for her to get in front of his audience. The Bears. I say this as a person from Chicago.
Oh, Nandre.
I don't care about the Bears. So. Nandre is my fellow Chicago suburbanite, so that's why he's saying he can't with me. Because I said, fuck the Bears. Fuck the Bears! Da Bears! Da Bears! Sorry, I did not sleep enough last night. Okay, so what was I talking about? Yes, I would really like to get Fran on the Hasanabi broadcast, so I will incept that again. Glad you did a killer interview. Thank you. Sometimes I talk and I hear the words that are coming out of my mouth and I'm like, does any of this make sense? I feel as if I'm always checking in with the chat. Like, is this working? Do you guys get what I'm saying? What's happening? Was this good? Was it a good interview? I just feel cooked constantly. I'm gonna be so for real, you guys. I feel like I need to be sharper again. I feel a lot of times that I'm just like, and I think it's because I consume too much online. There's too many takes, there's too much going on, and a lot of times I feel like I can't think. I can't think. I need to, I feel like I need to send my brain to boot camp. Yeah, a lot of times I just feel overloaded, and I don't know. We talk about a lot of stuff on this stream, and we stream a lot. So anyway, I'm just replace me with robot parts at this point. It was a very enlightening interview. I learned a lot from you. And Fran, will you be doing more interviews? I'm glad that you learned a lot. That's good to hear. Will I be doing more interviews? Yeah, next year I want to get back on my interview arc. Once I figure out motherfucking Zoom, no longer am embarrassing myself because I can't get my camera to work. So once I get that figured out, it's so over. It is so over for everybody else. Will you upload this to your YouTube channel? This will be here on Twitch. I don't know what the hell's happening with my YouTube channel these days. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm revamping my YouTube and other social platforms next year. So this will be a VOD. This will be a highlight. I'll probably have my shorts editor cut together something. No worries, I'll send them out. But yes, it'll definitely be a VOD and definitely will be a highlight as well. Also, Hogan, thank you for the gifted. Legit, thank you for the gifted. Joel, thank you for the gifteds. Felt very smooth and natural while still getting to the important points. Yeah, and this is not going to be the interview where we get to every single thing. Fran has been doing other interviews. The campaign is underway. So it's important right now to be like supporting her on socials, to be following along, to be involved, supporting however we can, because as the race draws closer next year and as things just really start to heat up, she needs to be standing out in the pack here, to give her the best chance at victory. And that comes from media attention. Fran obviously has great policies. She's a great candidate, but it's all about recognition. I mean, Zoran was polling at less than 1% at the beginning of 2025. And then whoosh, look at how the combination of his social media strategy, growing media attention, obviously people figuring out who this guy was and what his policies were, and they went, wow, he's great. And then word of mouth, telling their neighbors, tell your friends. So this time right now is really important. It's hard. It's really hard to get attention, especially when you have a race. You have a statewide race like this, and the field is packed. And people need to first and foremost become aware of who Fran is. And when you are a grassroots campaign, when you're relying on volunteers, when you don't have this massive influx of billionaire corporate dollars, you are you have your work cut out for you. So it's knocking on doors, it's meeting people in the community, it's having to do that multiple times, it's having to get your face out there and your name out there. And that's the initial challenge, is just people learning who you are and then hearing what you have to say and then going, wait, I really like this person. I like what they have to say. I like what they stand for. She's been doing a ton of in-person events and talking and listening to people. Yes, it's going out into these communities, into these districts, and just telling people who you are, Anyway, y'all, I think I'm probably gonna call it there. My main purpose of today was to interview Fran, and we have accomplished that. 6 more hours. So I think that's good. Yeah. I think that's good. And thank you so much for joining, for supporting this conversation. And if you live in Wisconsin, I hope that if you didn't know before, I hope you know Fran now a little bit better. And I hope that you can tell your friends, tell your family, help to get the word out, get involved. I wish that we had somebody like Fran who was running for governor in the state of California, You feel? Yeah, okay, what else? So tomorrow I'll be live. I'll be back tomorrow. And any other announcements? I think that's it. I think that's all she wrote. It's all she wrote. I'm going to send you over to Peach Jars. Peaches. Yeah, okay, cool. I am going to be making a donation to Fran. If you have a couple bucks, that's what it's all about. It's all about the grassroots, small dollar donations. And unfortunately, money is a part of political campaigns. And when you are a socialist like Fran is, you are reliant upon the people. You're reliant upon those $5 donations. Those $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 donations. So if you can throw a couple bucks in the donation bucket or share it with people who may be able to donate, and otherwise keep your chin ups, keep your spirits strong. Solidarity forever and always. You can be that person in California. Gee, I'm just here trying to talk about, I don't know, Jacob Elordi. Can I still do that if I am governor of California? Can I still watch actors on actors on the stream? You can pass a law to do that. I can pass a law to do that? Oh boy, I guess I gotta run for office now. I mean, Gavin Newsom played Fortnite with Connor Eats Pants. Maybe that's how I go on Fortnite Friday. Is I'm a candidate for political office, and I go on Fortnite Friday with Connor Eats Pants. All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you later. Thank you again for joining. Thank you again to Fran. Thank you to my mom. I don't know. Will there be a VOD? Yes, there will be a VOD. All right. Later. Bye.